Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. It's done a couple minutes early, because why not? I still dislike the video quality of this camera. I feel like I should get something to replace it. Anywho, I suppose get started. Welcome to the Forge of Worlds world building stream. Today, as of popular request last week, we'll be working on dragons and their role in Himeria and the world, I guess. So let's hop straight over to OneNote. And last stream, Silver Array mentioned that we should do dragons and why they're stealing all of their goats. So we've decided that, I've decided that goat theft is going to be a part of Dragon's history in some way, shape, or form. And I actually think I might have come up with an interesting idea for that. So let's make a new tab right here. And dragons are not orange. I hate that. Let's change them to, I reckon, purple. No, brighter purple or something else. It's all too pastel-y. Magenta. Yeah, magenta works. Alright. Dragons. I suppose we should probably figure out their origin story. How did dragons come to be? Where did they come from? I think this world has a lot of, will have, and has already a little bit, a lot of rebirth and the idea of the life cycle. And we established earlier that when a dragon dies, they go up to the stars and become a constellation. So I think they should have come from the stars, and that's just them going back. So, the birth of dragons was a shooting star. A meteorite. But they say shooting star because it's cool. Landed somewhere in the ocean? Actually, no. The place is long forgotten now. Landed on the world. And from it sprung... yes, hello, Space Gem. Welcome to Dragons. So we're doing the origin. Currently, they came from a shooting star, I've decided, because that's where they go when they die, so cycles. And from it sprung a couple different types of dragons. We'll have metallic and chromatic, as is regular in 5th edition D&D. But I want to add something else, I think. I want a little more. So, there's a couple things we can do here. We can do crystal dragons. They're a popular variant from older editions. We could look at dragons representative of other things, like maybe, I don't know, stone, wood, just other materials, I guess. Gases, maybe? Or even other ideas. If anyone else has any ideas regarding that, let me know. But I think we'll start with the 3 metallic, chromatic, and crystal. Because those 3 seem cool. But there's always room for more cool. So we can always add more. So for now we'll do 3 beings. So one of them is basically Tiamat. I'll say that now. So, a 5-headed dragon of multiple colors. Of many colors. Because the Tiamat's cool with the whole 5 different heads, but then like the body is always like silver or something, which I don't think is cool. I want them to be like colors everywhere. They're a chromatic dragon. They are, well, in regular things, they're the mother of all chromatic dragons. I don't know who this person is, but this is essentially this world's version of Tiamat. A 5-headed dragon of many colors. A metal dragon. Okay, in the Forgotten Realms, they've got Bahamut, who is platinum, to represent the metallic dragons of gold, silver, bronze, copper? Yeah, copper and gold, silver, bronze, copper. Forgetting the last one. Or is that it? Oh god. Either way, they've got a completely different metal to represent the metallic dragons. Which we could do. Or we can do something different. Which I think I would prefer to do. So, we could have them basically be an alloy of all the different types of metallic dragons. So, they're like... They, actually, we could just have them be molten metal, made up of each of the things. So, they just look like molten metal, but it is more than one type of metal that makes them up. And I think I like that. 5-headed dragon of many colors. A molten metal, and we can also play with the definition of dragon here, because they don't have to be Western dragons specifically. 5-headed dragon of many colors will basically just be standard Western dragon with 5 heads. The molten metal dragon might be cool to make them look more like some of the designs of like East Asia and what have you. More of a serpent-like dragon as opposed to a beast type, which could be pretty interesting. We could even have them be more of a serpent. But either way, a molten metal serpentine dragon. So we can play with their form later, but they're more serpentine than the standard dragon, and as such I think the other metallic dragons will be similar. Which I reckon is cool. And then, alright, so I think with the dragons we should have... Oh no, and then the crystal dragons. Crystal dragons. Crystal dragons. There's a bunch of crystals. I don't know what specific crystal dragons there are already, but we can define our own ones in this. We might do what they did with the metallic dragons in 5th edition for this, so have one crystal dragon be separate from all the others. Like, just one unique crystal dragon, which I think will work for this. Yes. Stick with that for now. So a molten metal serpentine dragon and a twin-headed. Could have more than one head. I've already got a 5-headed dragon. Serpentine dragon. Actually, what other dragon types are there? So we might make this one just a more standard dragon. Yeah. Alright. Diamond. What's the most... what gemstone epitomizes gemstones? My immediate thought is diamond, but I'm not sure about that, because diamonds are sort of oversung. Overrated? I don't know what. could just make diamond for the sake of the connotation. Ruby. Opals come to mind because multicolor. That's actually a good idea. That's true. Actually, that's really good. Thank you very much, Jumper Fluff. And an opalescent. So we'll say opalescent. They're an opal dragon. But opalescent just is more of the color. And also of the material. Yeah. And an opalescent maybe they could be more humanoid. Stand on 2 legs. Or they could be more like, I don't know how one would normally describe a wyvern with like 2 wings, 2 legs. Maybe. Or they could have 6 legs and more. Many-legged. Yeah, many-headed. Serpentine. Many. Actually, no. Them being crystal is enough. An opalescent crystalline dragon. These beings. Let's figure out their names. Oh god, I realized just before I started streaming that I was going to have to come up with dragon names and how painful that was going to be. So, here we go. 5-headed dragon in many colors. Play on Tiamat's name. Some of the T's sound. Because we've already got a bunch of K dragons. So, playing on Tiamat. Tiroak. Tiroka. Tiroka. That works. Tiroka of many shades. Tiroka of many shades. Something... For metal, I think it needs to be something slithery and fluid, but still in the same hard draconic sounds. Kirektuil. Kirektuik? Yeah, Kirektuik. The Molten Lord. Yeah. And Kirektuik, the Molten Lord, and what's their face? Crystals. Crystal. Actually, crystal could come from crystal dragons, so Kristellark. That works. Let's capitalize these real quick. Kirektuik and Kristellark were the first dragons. And, well, thanks for coming for while you did, Space Jam. Well, the first dragons, they're not worshipped. They're common ancestors, but they're not gods. In a literal sense. Maybe there are some... They'll probably have cults that worship them, but they aren't actual gods. Wait. I've given the other ones titles, so Kristellark should have one as well. The Shining One? Yeah, Kristellark the Shining One. And are considered, and all dragons can trace their heritage back to one of these. So now, we need a reason for them to split even further. So, you could just had a clutch of eggs. That could work. Or, alright, I feel like Tiroka, whichever pronunciation, I'll figure it out. I reckon Tiroka had a clutch of 5 eggs, which spawned into the 5 chromatic dragons. Or maybe a clutch of 5 eggs, but from these 5 eggs came a bunch of dragons, like spider eggs or whatever. Ugh. And then, but with Kirektuik, I think there's all those myths of like someone being slain or stabbed, and then from the droplets of their blood, beings arose. So I think something like that would be good for Kirektuik regarding metallic dragons. And then Crystallark. And Crystallark, I think, could go a couple different ways. Could go... I want to do something different for each of them. I don't want to just have eggs, blood, and then eggs or blood. I want something... new, something weird. Could be the light reflecting from them. Could be that the other crystal dragons were born from the light refracted off their scales, from their scales. That could work. We'll work on the other two for now. The chromatic dragons were all the children of Tiroka, born from her large clutch of eggs. The metallic dragons were born from the scattered molten flesh of Kirektuik. Should they all be mothers? No. The crystal dragons. We'll figure out Kirektuik later, but the crystal dragons from the reflections. Yes, because crystals have all the reflections and refractions of light. The crystal dragons were pulled from? Emerged from? Were they forcibly removed from the refraction? I don't know the right word. Were they forcibly removed from the space, or did they, like, fly out? I like the idea of crystal dragons representing, like, freedom. Crystal dragons flew out from the refracted light of Crystallark's many luminous scales. Yeah, that's cool. Like that. So, should we come up with each of the original of each type, or should... I feel like chromatic dragons are probably the most common. Alright, actually wait. These were, and still are, the most numerous of dragons. Da, da, da. There were originally many more crystal dragons, but people like crystals, people go to war, crystals can break. I think there's not many crystal dragons left. I think they were hunted? But over time, their numbers have dwindled due to, yeah, I think those hunting for their bodies. They want to break up their stuff and steal their crystals so that they can make crystal stuff. Magic users would definitely need those because you know if you played D&D and got into high level stuff and use material components and magic, you know you need crystals and lots of them, mostly diamonds. Hunting their bodies for their crystals. We'll just say crystals. Crystals? Crystals. Gotta get their crystals. Hunting for their crystals. Most have gone into hiding. Okay. Cowboy dragon. Could have some crystal dragon hunters. I'm after some crystal dragons. Alright, there's definitely going to... Okay, let's actually write that down. Crystal dragon hunters. Yes. Yes. Sorry, cowboy dragon hunters. Alright, actually, wait. Cowboy dragon hunters. There's actually going to be a historical figure, or figure that's still alive, who is a cowboy and hunts crystal dragons. Okay. So, with dragons, in 5th edition, metallic represents good, chromatic represents evil. I don't really like that, but I do like the idea of them representing different ideas. So I was thinking, maybe we could have the chromatic dragons represent chaos. Chaos as in disorder, disarray, but also creativity, color, art, painting. Get where I'm going at, hopefully. And then metallic dragons can represent law, order. That crazy stuff. Keeping everything in line, rigid, like metal. And then the crystal dragons can represent... On the D&D alignment chart, that's usually neutrality, but I feel like maybe... Well, they can be, like, neutrality, but then they've got, like, the underlying thing of freedom, to be able to choose either. The unrestrictedness of energy and light. And they've also got the ability to go invisible, so the ability to not choose at all. So I feel like metallic dragon should represent law. So metallic dragons, I think, work really well with societies. Specifically, some society, maybe they even generated some societies. They're probably pre-humanoid. I think dragons are older than humanoids. Full stop. But metallic dragons work well with societies and help keep law. Yeah. Being lawful creatures. work well within societies and often are founders of their own, but they are not very numerous. I mean, you can only lose so much molten flesh. Yeah. But no, but they're not very numerous. So there's a couple of dragon societies, and there would still be hunters wanting to hunt metallic dragons, because they'd still want their metal, still want their shit. But there wasn't as many of them, and they have their own societies. They probably had their own armies and people to defend them, so they weren't just on their own. Whereas crystal dragons were like, oh yeah, let's do our own thing, and then got hunted down. Hello, Momo. It's nice to see you. Glad you're here. So, we've got Twitter. I'm gonna put my phone on silent. So we've got 3 types of dragons: crystal, metallic, and chromatic. What they represent: chromatic being chaos, metallic being law, and crystal being the ability to choose between the two. Freedom. Well, neutrality is like the general term, general thing, but freedom is like the core of it. So, this is the origin of dragons and a little bit of what they're like now. Add page. So, we can work on a couple things from here. We can figure out who the original dragons were, who the progenitors are, like them as people, who the original of the distinct types of dragons are, so who the first chromatic dragons were, or the main ones, because there was a massive clutch of them, as we previously stated. And the same with the other two. Or we can figure out main dragons within current society, what the biggest dragons are. Or we can work on myths. There's lots of different ways we can go. Does anyone have any particular things they want to see? Because I reckon either way we'll split it into the different types. So do we want the history of dragons, the history of the progenitors of dragons, the main dragons at the moment, the main draconic players of society? Just a quick breakdown of what they are. So chromatic dragons are creatures of chaos. The main dragons at the moment. And myths. Oh god, I've gotten 2. Well, Jumpluff did message that first. Alright, we'll do it in that order. We'll do the myths. We'll do a couple of myths. We'll do a couple of myths of the old dragons, and then if we've got time, we'll do the dragons within the current world. I'm just going to quickly write down what we can work on next episode. Current dragons. Current powerful dragons. Because there's always going to be dragons somewhere. But there's the powerful dragons. Creatures of chaos. Metallic dragons are creatures of law. Crystal dragons are neutral creatures, often representing the freedom to move between law and chaos. So we'll start with the myths of the original dragons of each of these. And then, if we don't get it in this episode, next episode we'll do the main dragons at the moment. So, chromatic dragons. There would still be the first 5 of each of these colors, but there was plenty more that Tiroka birthed. Red, blue, green, black, and white. I was just trying to see if I've forgotten any. So, each of these colors, what they represent. Red is fire, so no F's. K. Kyros. Blue, lightning, something sharp, staticky. Stactyl. Stactyla. Yeah, I like that. Stactyla. Like the Godzilla kind of thing. Green. Green's acid? I think. Actually, green and black are both acid, I think. Either way. Siktu. Asiktura. That works. Black, white. Also, if anyone has any names, please feel free to put them in chat, because I am having to generate all these on the fly because I forgot to make a list or something to choose from. I should have done that because I didn't realize, but I did realize how many dragons I would have to come up with. Ugh. No tables. Anyway, black, more acid or necrotic. Can't remember, but either way. Teractos, whatever. However it's pronounced. Get like a short, like one syllable name. You're right. All these names are really long, so I should probably have some that are short. White. Kita. You're right, Murmur. Yix. Yix is cool. I think Yix is the name of a crystal dragon. I'll just write that down right there. I actually really like Yix. Let's name all of these real quick. So metallic, there's gold, silver, copper, bronze. Am I missing any? Hold on. Let me check the book quickly. Ha! Whoa. Sorry, the book is underneath the mic. That was my bad. Brass. Hold on. So we've got brass, bronze, copper, gold, and silver. So brass. Ah. Crystal Dragon Yix. Yeah. Crystal Dragon Yix. Alright. Crystals. We need to decide what crystals there are. I don't know what there is in the old editions. I honestly don't care. I just like the idea of crystal dragons. So, we'll have amethyst, diamond, ruby, emerald, and one more. Purple, silver clear, red, green, and another color. Amber? Amber dragons? No. Topaz? Topaz. Thank you very much. I love having a chat for this, because that way I don't have to come up with all the things, and when I get stuck in a rut, I can ask people. It's awesome. Sapphire. Oh, actually, let's change diamond to sapphire, because if I remember correctly... Del Toro quest moment. Yeah. So, Yix. Real quick. Who's Yix? I really like Yix. I think Yix is still alive purely because of how much I like the name. I'm getting Emerald or Topaz for Yix. Steven Universe cast. Yeah, I guess. They did the crystal thing as well. Crystals are very common. Like, I haven't really recognized how many crystal things there are until just now. But anyway, who's Yix? I'm thinking either Topaz or Emerald. Emerald? Emerald it is. Yix. And Yix is most definitely still alive, purely because I really want to play a character called Yix. Alright, now we'll do the metallic and then get back to the... Might be your synesthesia? Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I usually try and name them off what I think regarding the colors, so that works. Anywho, metallic dragons. I think we'll add a couple more shorter names to these. I actually might steal Stactilla for metallic. Stactilla can be... Actually, no, Stactyl. Stactyl can be silver. And give this one a short name. 2 sec. Yeah. All right. Gold. Gold is very round to me, so this is not fun. How do I make something round but sharp? Can't go to school because I'm too sick. Tor or something. Actually, yeah, that works. Tor. Talk? I like the K sounds. K, S, and T. And there is a T in there, but something sharp is good. Yeah, talk. And they like talking. Oh, God. I'm gonna hate all these short names because someone's going to find a pun for each of these. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm not gonna hate them. I'm gonna love them. Anywho, Nimra. Nimra. That's cool. I don't know. I feel like with dragons, there's been a couple people that have mentioned this that I've seen online, and how... No, yeah, that's... we're glad to have you here, Pioneers. Oh, 6 viewers. That's more than I'm used to. Anywho. Yeah, no, Nimra, I'm actually like, although I'm always cautious to add M sounds, and to a lesser extent N sounds, because having an M means you have lips. When I imagine dragons, I don't imagine lips. But these are more serpentine dragons, and so they don't look necessarily like regular dragons. So maybe these ones do have lips. Or maybe only one of them has lips, and that's why they're called Nimra, and everyone else hates them because they can't pronounce their name. Because they don't have lips. I think that actually might be the case. And I think that's brass, because I want everyone to hate the brass dragon. I don't know why. I just feel that way. It's probably just because I forgot what they were. And I associate them with... I associate brass with instruments, and I imagine them being very loud, boisterous, and probably to a lot of the other dragons, annoying. So Nimra. That is a cool name. So, finding a way to work it in, I am very happy to do. Copper and bronze. Let's see, what should we do for copper and bronze? Look. Crossbreed between zinc and copper? Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah. Well, that's the more you know. Nimra out here playing woodwinds when everyone else can only play percussion because they have dragon mouths. I mean, yeah. Yeah, they can play woodwinds and they can play brass instruments. Anyway, copper. Already got something with them. CO. And I'm going to take that. Cock. Don't. Okay, there is not going to be a K here. Let's just do a T. Cottella? Cottel. Yeah, too close. Not not doing that. Yeah, Cottel. I don't know. I'm still worried that's too close. We'll leave it for now. Bronze. They've got a Z. I like the Z. Toknes. N doesn't require lips. Toknes. Toxin. I know it's like toxin as well. Can bronze be toxic? I don't know if it can, but either way, toxin is a thing. Maybe I should make that green. What's green? Asictura. Asictura I like. Actually, there needs to be a longer name in here. Let's put toxin as green and Asictura as bronze. There we go. Crystal dragons. Got Yix. Love Yix. Love Yix so much. Yeah, it is like a Pokemon name. You're right. Almost done with names. Do people like seeing me write names? I don't know. I feel like it might be boring. It's just coming up with random words and applying them to a thing. Amethyst. Fist. I like the fist. Kistith. Atharin? Atharin works. I feel like that's more like topaz. Atharin. Yeah, that's good. Name's the best? Well, I'm glad you like them, because coming up with characters and creatures is very name heavy. Snake character Yix? Hell yeah. That's cool. Actually, with the crystal dragons, maybe some of them could be, because the idea is that they can be either chaos or law, be a mediation or a between of both the chromatic and metallic. So maybe some of them look like metallic and some of them look like chromatic. MGS fan character? MGS. What does MGS mean? I don't remember what that is. I've seen that before. I don't remember what it is. Either way, Sapphire and Ruby. Ruby? Keep the Rue. We'll put the Rue in somewhere else. Oh, Metal Gear Solid. Anyway. Kiru. Bruce. Kirus. No, I don't need to worry about language in here. I've got it for mature audiences, just in case. Kirus. That works. Sapphire. Can keep the Sa. There's no L's, so we'll add L's. Tulosa. Hey. Yeah, Tulosa. I like that. I don't know why I said it like that. It feels like the name to say it like that. Tulosa. Yeah, that works. Alright, so we've got the names of all of them. I don't really know if we need to go into stories for each of them, because there's a lot. That's 15 dragons, and we do not have enough time to write a story for 15 dragons. I could try and do like a story a minute, but I doubt that's going to happen. I could though. No. Stop. Okay. I suppose we can just do like how they came about. Original dragons. Just write that on each of them. Delegate stories. What do you mean delegate stories? Oh, delegate stories to everyone else. Oh boy. Start crowdsourcing my world building. I think that'd get rid of the point of doing all this. I mean, I'm doing a little bit of crowdsourcing with the names and whatever, but I am trying to show everyone all this world building as opposed to getting them to do it. Just having a little bit of help is nice. So those are the original dragons. Let's just do how they came about. So let's go into more depth, because we've figured out how they came about, but we haven't figured out exactly how they came about. So with the chromatic dragons, what was it that made... Actually, you know what? Let's add progenitor to each of these, so I don't have to keep going back. Tiroka. Metallic is Kirektuik. Crystals is Crystallark. Crystallark. That is not Christ. Crystella. Alright. Awesome. So chromatic. Tiroka decided to just make a bunch of eggs. What is it? The progenitor. That, it is a bit of a gross word. Like, as soon as I wrote it down, I felt gross writing it. Progenitor is odd. Anyway. I feel like one of these... Alright, no. There's a reason there's far fewer metallic dragons. And that's because Kirektuik died really quickly. Tiroka is a god. Yes. Well, no, sorry. Wrong. I specified that before. Tiroka is not a god. Just the first of the chromatic dragons. So it's just like a common ancestor as opposed to an actual deity. There's definitely cults and stuff that do worship them as gods, but they are not world altering creatures. They are just dragons. But it's like, if a humanoid saw a dragon, there would definitely be actual worshippers of them. Hello, Silver Ore. It's nice to see you again. We haven't done the goats yet. We haven't gotten into the goat stealing, but we'll probably do that next time. But either way. Anyway, back to the metallic dragons. No. We're gonna do the goats right now, actually. Kirektuik. No. Ah. Okay, Hyena Rose. At the end of the last stream, Silver Ore, when I asked what everyone wanted to see, if they wanted dragons or something, Silver Ore said, I want to know about these dragons and why they're stealing my goats, or something along those lines. So I decided to implement goats as a big thing in their history. And I think... You know what? You can still steal things and be lawful. I'll find a way to work around that. No, actually, they were just hunting. Kirektuik was hunting through the... Kirektuik was hunting. Eating herds of animals. Along the coast. Along the coast, why not? Let's... Yeah, so dragons, who are they, where did they come from, and why do they keep taking my goats? Exactly. No, I've got an idea. So they were hunting along the coast when they came along a flock of large goats. They ate one and felt satisfied. So they took 2 more and left. This repeated twice. But unbeknownst to Kirek, that's such a long name. These goats were owned by, I'm not going to say wizard, because wizards didn't exist yet. But either way, a magical being, maybe a fae. I haven't done anything with the fae yet, so maybe. But either way, a powerful magical being. You know what? I'm going to put this in bold, so if I ever look back on it, I will realize that I need to figure it out. This being disliked having their goat stolen. Obviously. So, through their powers, merged their forms with that of a lion. You'll probably see where I'm going now. And a snake. I'm pretty sure there's one. And, oh no, chimeras. No, a lion and a snake. We won't have chimeras have dragon parts, because this is about dragons. But either way, forming chimeras. So they could still do all the goat stuff, but now they could defend themselves. Kirektuik came by once more for a feed, only to find themselves surrounded by deadly hunters. The chimeras Kirektuik was strong, but the chimeras outnumbered them. They were no match for their combined might. From the ripped molten flesh of the great dragon, emerged the original 5 metallic dragons. And the rest, they say, is history. That's the origin story of metallic dragons, folks. Now, chromatic dragons. After the untimely death of her sibling, Tireka realized her own mortality and wanted to extend her life similarly to her sibling, because I cannot be bothered writing out that name once again. And as such, gave birth to a clutch of eggs. She did this a handful of times before her own death, which we can figure out later, leading to a large array of chromatic dragons. And boom, second one done. Exactly. Just like, oh, I'm gonna die one day. I want to continue living in my descendants. There we go. It is done. Crystal dragons. I reckon the birth of the other crystal dragons is probably a surprise to Kristellark as well. So Kristellark Crystallark was flying around one day when they happened. No. When they were gazed upon by what's their face? Loth. By Loth. As they moved across the sky. Loth is the deity of the sun, but also the deity of death. You're not necessarily going to just give birth because the sun's flying in the sky. Loth specifically looked at Crystallark, and then from the eye beams of Loth birthed the other crystal dragons from the reflections from coming off of them. So wait, no. Showing off their beautiful scales. If you cannot tell, Crystallark is a little vain. Loth noticed their incredible sheen and beauty. But as their gaze fell upon the great dragon, the reflected light. Yeah, never make eye contact with the sun god. Don't look at the sun. For 2 reasons now. 1, it'll blind you. 2, you might accidentally have kids. The reflected light formed itself into 5 new dragons, fully formed, as Loth's life-giving powers worked their magic. Yeah, no, don't look at the sun, kids. You'll summon a fully formed descendant. But while it was a surprise, yeah, you'll get pregnant and die if you look at the sun. That's exactly what's gonna happen. Totally, trust me. I know these things. I'm a world builder. But yeah, so that's the origins of each of the dragons. And those are the original dragons, which maybe there'll be like cults or something about. I don't really know what I'm going to do with them yet, but I will probably do something. So that's that. I don't think we've really got enough time for anything else, because it's already 4:55 and we're going till 5 today. So we might leave it there unless there's something someone particularly wants me to touch on before we go. Fully formed is last second to work their magic. These 5 new dragons were the original crystal dragons. Yeah, I think that's where we'll probably leave it today. So, yes. I hope you enjoyed today's world building stream. Worked on dragons. Next week we will probably do some more work on dragons, specifically the current powerful dragons, the ones that maybe run cities or what have you. We'll see. Thank you for coming for however long you did. If you'd like to see more, I've got a YouTube channel called Forge of Worlds as well. Oh yes, also set up a rivalry between chimeras and dragons. Definitely interesting thing I like. Yes, if you want to see the other videos I've made, they're up on YouTube or up on Twitch for a certain amount of time. If you want to ask me questions, feel free to message me on Twitter at Forge of Worlds. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later.